another edition. I don't know what episode it is. At the beginning of every Nerd Cave, they say
This is
what number
4,
it
I
is.
think.
We're already forgetting what number it is.
I know, man. We've been doing this for so long.
Right. Who would have thought we've gone this far? But welcome to Dead Game Podcast, the podcast that asks, why the hell haven't they made one of these yet in recent years? My name is Wally Phelps.
And I am Carlos Longoria.
And today, Carlos is going to regale us with the tales of Castlevania. But before we do that, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Hey, had you seen the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
I absolutely have. I am a huge Marvel fan, so of course I'm going to have seen this.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
How dare you insinuate otherwise?
So, you never know.
Plus, it's a movie about a guy who can make himself smaller. Why wouldn't I want to see something like that?
Yeah, right. Oh boy. So what'd you think of it? What do you think?
I mean, there's only one big thing that kind of bothers me, and it's that the same thing that bothers a lot of people with this movie is that the special effects look kind of cartoony.
Yeah, kind of bright.
I think I think it's fine, whatever. But
I get it. Whoa, excuse me. I get it. But at the same time, sometimes that doesn't really bother me. Honestly, unless it looks really 90s crappy looking, like a TV movie,
yeah.
then I'm like, it kind of takes you out of the element, and I get it. But also, this is a trailer and not the finished product. I'm hoping that it'll be slightly better. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I did see that, some of I know what you're talking about with people saying that it looks kind of cartoony and stuff. I get that. It doesn't really bother me that much. I will say, like, a lot of people complained about, what was it? Superman's, the mustache cover-up CGI that they did.
I didn't think that looked terrible.
It didn't look bad to me. It was fine. It was a 10-second clip of him talking to a kid on a camera phone.
Well, and it's not even just that. There's
I know,
a lot
and then
too.
Later at the end, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, for the amount of screen time that Superman actually gets in there, I think they did a pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it looks fine.
I also feel like in that the only reason I even looked at it is because people were talking about it.
Right. I didn't notice it.
And the thing is, I didn't know where it was happening. Like, for a longest time, I know now because I've seen the Zack Snyder version.
Right.
So, but the thing is, it still looks like a fake lip in the Zack Snyder version, and it's not.
Still doesn't even look right anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's not. His lip is just weird.
Yeah, he's just got a weird lip or something.
He's got a weird lip.
I don't know what it is. But it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, and
no,
what I'm saying, I didn't notice it initially until I saw online. Like, and I was like, what? Let me rewatch this again. Hold on. And so when I saw it, and I was like, oh, I see what they're talking about. But honestly, it doesn't bother. I really don't care. Because I understand the contractual obligation that he had at the time, and they needed to fit in the schedule. They had to do something. You know what I mean? And sure, you get the people that do the YouTubers that do that. Oh, well, we can do a better job. Let's fix this, blah blah blah, and they fix it in like a week or whatever the heck, But that's not the same.
They do.
That's what I was gonna say. But they do the one job, and it's cool that they can do that. I can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I am not that person. I don't do visual effects. Obviously, look at. But you know what I mean. But you know what I'm. But what I'm saying is, this
you're
is
not
the
on
one
the
thing
cover
that
art for Castlevania?
Well, I mean, I could be, but you know what I mean. Like, it. What does it matter? These people that legitimately worked on the movie and the visual effects, they have to meet you know, they have to meet their time. Otherwise, they start running
right.
behind on other important things.
With another plus with the budget that they have
Right,
and the time that
right,
like you can only work so many hours in the day,
right.
and it feels very disingenuous to say that we can do it better. Here's us doing it better,
Yeah.
and then just
When you're only fixing a 10-second portion
right
of some kind of film,
when
yeah,
this movie is like 45 minutes worth of CG,
yeah,
and you are, but really it's not so much that it looks bad, because it doesn't look bad. It
I don't
just
think it
doesn't
does.
look real. you
Right,
know
and
and there's an argument that I used to make, like whenever the CG Spider-Man scenes would come out, people would say, well, it looks fake. Yeah, because it's a guy swinging through.
yeah,
If you see him standing there, like I've seen pictures of Spider-Man standing next to people, that's real, and it looks fake. So
yeah, yeah. That's yeah, because you get um the what was that animated? You remember that animated one that was? Are you talking about the animated one, or are you talking about like
no, I'm
the
talking about
CG?
the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Oh,
movies. Like
yeah. I
even
mean, there
then,
was definitely like some, but you know what? It didn't bother me. It was cool. We had Spider-Man
right,
for the first time since like what was it? 70 something, 79 or whatever the heck the old one was.
right, and I didn't even
Whatever
get to see
year
that
that
because
came
I
out
was
in.
not alive.
Well, see,
you
no, that's
know,
what I'm
but
saying. You know what I mean? Like I saw it as a
I saw it
kid.
on a rerun. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
it was
yeah, that's
like,
gonna say I saw it on TV one day.
yeah, I
And
saw
it
it on
was cool,
TV, and it,
and looking at it now, and you see, and you're like, they
man,
recorded that in reverse and literally made the web and go latch around the thing, and it
right,
was
and
just
then he
like,
just pulls it. Yeah,
and he just pulls it, but it's but hey, that was clever at the time. You know what I
right.
mean? It worked.
I
So I
mean,
don't know, but so going back to Ant-Man, so was it Modoc that I saw in the
that was
trailer?
Modoc. He looks more robotic, but I
It does.
assume that that's a
Maybe
mask,
it's a
maybe
mask. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's a
perhaps
mask, or
to
maybe
keep
some kind of,
him
yeah,
alive the in the tiny world and
in the,
the
yeah, whatever the quantum world.
the quantum world. Yeah, it's weird that we had like a cartoon not too long
Yeah,
ago.
I never actually got around to seeing it. Like it's in my list, and I just never watched it. I
It
forgot
it,
about it.
it wasn't good.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. As
There
I hadn't
were
heard anything
it had
plus
its
or
moments.
minus on it, so
It just wasn't great. I mean,
I just
honestly, most Hulu originals are not good shows. The only real big difference for that is Only Murders in the Building.
I
That's
know
the
that's a fantastic show.
only reason why I keep Hulu.
That's
Uh,
for real. That's why I have Hulu, because I
right.
like that show, and I'm waiting for them to let me
To
give
bring
me
the
give me
third
another season. Yeah, let me get a season 3.
man, spoilers for the second season, which you should have seen it
You
by
should
now.
have seen it already. Yeah.
Paul Ant-Man is in that,
Yeah.
and, and he dies. He's the one. That's the murder in the
It is.
building.
I know it's funny. I know.
It's
I
gonna
was
be
like,
great.
when you see him at the end, and you're like, hey.
And I want to say that we all know who did it because we saw that trailer, and Jonathan Majors is going to mess some people up as Kang in this film because he
Oh
looks
man. Yeah,
incredible,
I know.
and his acting is so menacing too.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because you can see, like, he's trying. Okay, so he's playing a character, and the character's trying to be nice
Yeah,
and be like, "Look, man, we can help each other, buddy." But the way he delivers it, you know,
there's menace behind
yeah,
that.
menace behind it. Yeah, you
And
know.
well, and there's another thing. It's like, do we even know that he's talking to Scott? What if he's talking to Hank?
Right, and that's what I'm
Because
saying.
he's
Like, he could.
also lost a lot of time.
Right. That is exactly the thing. Is like, do we know who he's actually talking to? Because
And we know in What If
yeah.
that Hank Pym is capable of some stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
interesting. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen What If, I really highly recommend that too.
Very good. It's very good. Um.
And in the comic book, Hank Pym is an absolute ass. But let's move on into our
Sure. Sure.
topic of the day.
Sure.
Speaking of absolute asses, uh, I'm actually
That's
staring
me.
at a Belmont ass at the moment.
Yes.
Ladies and
Oh yes.
gentlemen, Castlevania. Go ahead and tell us what Castlevania is for the people at home that don't know, and they should.
If you don't know what Castlevania is and you're listening to this episode, get the hell. No, I'm kidding.
There's a lot of young people who listen to this show. I don't know if
Oh
that's
yes.
true or
So yeah.
not.
Yeah. Now,
Probably
so
not. These
Castlevania.
old guys don't know.
Right. So Castlevania, of course, started off as an action platformer, and I want to say actually it came out on the MX
The MX Spectrum.
computer. Yeah, I think so. One of the MX. It might have been the Spectrum, or it could be one of the other ones. But
It was
Nintendo.
on tape.
Yeah, yeah, it was on tape. But when Nintendo put it on their NES, it was like, it was one of the big games. And still is to this very day. Everybody knows the name, for at the very least, Castlevania. And it did not become what, because Castlevania has evolved over the years. It started off as an action platformer. You just ran across the screen and used your whip, which is I only recently found out that the whip itself is it's sort of enchanted. I'm gonna dumb it down and just say it's an enchanted whip. It's not like just like a normal whip.
How enchanting.
And from what I understand, this was told in a one of the later games. I want to say it was like on PlayStation 3 or something. Don't quote me on that. I have not played a lot of these more current ones. So if I am wrong, I am wrong. Correct me in the comments, and I will accept my
His fate.
incorrectitude. Yes, but uh, but I want to say like one of the games takes place. Well, actually, several of the games take place before the NES game takes place, like in the timeline. But from what I understand, like the whip itself is enchanted and whatnot and everything, and there's a whole story behind it. But I'm not going to get into like too much detail about that because that's not the point. But that's why, and it has like, it's like some kind of alchemic weapon. So that's why you can change it. Like it becomes like a chain whip and things like that.
Right.
In some games, you can use fire and whatnot and everything. So that's why you can do those things because it's not just the whip. Anyway, so you use your whip, you jump around, you get knocked back, and which is very well known that there is knockback in this game. So once you get hit by an enemy, you're gonna get sent flying back about 3 or 4 or 5 or 15 feet or whatever the heck the distance is equivalent to. But and depending on the version of the game you're playing, um, the whole point of the game is you're traversing a castle, venturing in, killing zombies and bats and ghouls and whatnot, fishmen, mermen, and all this stuff, trying to destroy Dracula.
Ethel
Um,
Merman's trying to destroy
yeah,
Dracula.
oh, merman, yes, and um, so that's the whole point. And in the later games, the story progresses, and followers of Dracula, resurrect him in some kind of way. There's another game where and I want to say that it's like you have to like find all the body parts, and and then it's like so you can bring him back to life, so you can destroy his curse, and it's like there's a whole like it's like stop bringing him back to life.
Right.
I gotta do this. You know what I mean? It's just to stop bringing it back to life. But but it continues on, and so that's pretty much the point of the game. You fight baddies, try to kill Dracula. So that's the game. Later on in the series, it became what it is known as today as a Metroidvania. Now, of course, which is part of the name in Metroidvania, into where the later games, there's actually character progression rather than just like you can pick up items and whatnot, and
Yeah.
weapons, sub weapons and whatnot. There's actual character progression, where you can gain like other items and things, and level up your character. And you're able to use other things throughout the game and whatnot. And there's also some backtracking and stuff that's done in the game in some of the later games now, where instead of it's just like running left to right or right to left or going up some stairs, you literally have to search through like a maze like castle to. So there's some like, oh, you need this weapon to get here, you can jump to this, kill this boss, and now you can come over here to this thing. So it's more like that kind of exploration kind of game. And a lot of people like that sort of thing, and that's what the game has become. I understand that. I am not about exploration. I am a very linear player of games. If the
Right.
if the game goes left and right, I am good with it. I don't want to go wasting my time looking for one item and for an hour and a half because I don't know where it's at just to unlock a door or something like that. You know what I mean? That's just not for me.
I've said it before where I've said it before that I don't like video games, but it's
And yet we are doing a
yeah. Here we
podcast
are
about
about video games.
video games.
I can't stand backtracking, and that's really
Yeah,
where things kind of lose me.
right.
That's why I never finished any Resident Evil. It's
I
why
understand
I
that.
can't get through Castlevania.
That's the thing is like I think so. I'm a fan of Resident Evil, but I do not play them, which is, I know it's weird. I like the idea of them. I like zombie
Yeah.
stuff. I've said it before. I think the games are interesting and whatnot. Like I own the Castlevania, the Resident Evil HD version and stuff. So it's like an updated version of the original uh uh Resident Evil. I keep wanting to say Castlevania because that's the subject, but the original Resident Evil, and it's just in HD, and you can do like the tank controls really turned me off to those games. Is it was
Who
part of
didn't
it.
it turn off?
And you know what I mean? But you can actually use like more modern controls, but it's still in a fixed perspective, and that also I don't like. Now, I did play the Resident Evil 7, where it's kind of over the shoulder one, and I loved that one. I played that one to beat it. And I haven't played the most recent one. I
Village.
think it's Village. Yeah, I haven't played Village yet, but I loved the other one and everything. So
I
I need to
played
get Village. I
the
just haven't.
teaser of Village. I haven't played full Village yet.
Um
I even streamed
Now,
that one.
oh yeah, I do remember you streaming that. I do remember that. Um, One thing that I will say now, I have played Symphony of the Night, some of it and stuff and everything, and I got, you know, fairly into the game for a while. I just never actually bothered finishing it. Like I was just like, "Oh man, this is a cool game. I liked it." I just kind of fell out of it. Like one day I was
Put it
just like, "Yeah,
away.
I'll continue this another day." And I just never finished it. I still have it on the thing and
15
my save
years
file.
later.
Yeah. It's there. My save file is there. I just haven't booted it up and booted it up. Oh my god, I'm showing my age.
Whew.
Oh my god, I haven't said those words out loud in a long time, I think. But anyway, yeah. So I just haven't played it since. But they're fantastic games. If you have not tried it, go give them a try. There is a Castlevania collection. The anniversary collection gives you the first, second, third games on for the NES, and then it gives you Super Castlevania 4, which is the one that I actually like to play, which came out on the Super Nintendo originally. It is a much easier experience. It is a retelling of the first Castlevania game that came out for the NES.
Hmm.
So it's essentially the same game, but better. and the controls aren't dumb, and you can do like certain things in that game and everything that you can't do in the original game. Like the stairs are not a problem because in the original Castlevania game, if you jump and you land on stairs, you just fall through as if they're not there. So you have to start at the base of the stairs and press up or down if you're at the top of the stairs. And then you'll traverse the stairs. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never actually missed the stairs if I jump to the stairs. I mean, I don't really do much jumping, obviously, I'm not the best guy in shape. But you know what I mean? Like I've never missed
Yeah.
stairs. So that's always been like a puzzling thing for me. Why did they I don't know if that was like a software limitation of something that was going on or whatever in the background. Doesn't matter.
I don't know, but it just feels like that he would take more damage if he fell down the stairs.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
like
like
he falls
yeah,
backwards.
at least yeah, like fall
That
or
has to
something. I
be
don't
what it
know.
is, because
Yeah, that's
what
what it
kind of
is.
animation would you have to catch yourself on the stairs?
Right. So, but in Super Castlevania 4, you can like jump to the stairs and hold up, and he'll land on the stairs and whatnot and everything. So they fixed a lot of the problems that people didn't like about the original one.
Right.
So this is a significantly easier game. The whip itself has like some of its own little physics type thing, so it kind of dangles. It's kind of funny because you can do this whole dangly move, like if you hold
Like the
the
cats.
yeah, it's funny because you can like press the attack button and he'll launch the whip, but if you don't let go of the button, he's just holding his arm out, and you can move the controller, the D-pad, and he'll do this kind of thing, just yeah, like, and it'll like wobble the whip, and it still does damage to the enemies, and it's funny. It's almost like a shield.
That's what,
Uh,
God, I
yeah,
just see him going.
it's yeah, that's what it looks like. He's just going there. It's what it looks like. It's funny. It's hilarious. I love it. But you know what I mean. But they left it in there, and it's fantastic part of the game. It's hilarious. Um, but yeah. So, but if you ever want to try a Castlevania game, that's not going to be the most difficult. I say try Super Castlevania 4. Um, that's my go-to whenever I have a hankering to play a Castlevania game because I enjoy them. Don't. I did not keep up with the franchise because, like I said, once they went to the exploration and the Metroidvania style of game, um,
Not as interesting.
I wasn't really as interested. Yeah, like it's fine. I understand the love behind those. You know what I mean? I do. They're just not for me. And
Yeah.
like a lot of there were several games for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS that I never got around to playing because it was this style of game. Now they did make one or two that was more traditional type ones. I do have one for the PSP, which was a remake or a re-release type thing. I don't know if they actually remade it. But anyway, I do have the one that's on the PSP, which is I think it's called the is it the Dracula X Chronicle. I don't remember which one it is. I haven't played it in such a long time, but it doesn't matter. I have one for PSP. It's cool. Yeah, it got released on multiple platforms. Is my point? Is they got re-released, and so if you get the Castlevania collection, it's got the first, second, third NES game, Super Castlevania 4. It does have Kid Dracula, which is apparently like a game that came out like later on in the
I'm
franchise.
pretty
Yeah,
sure I saw that movie. It was bad.
yeah, yeah, right. So, but this one, the Kid Dracula one, is more like I don't know how else to describe it, but it's more like a Mega Man kind of game because you play as Dracula, but he's like a kid, and he looks like Goku because he's got like spiky hair, like or Vegeta, actually more like Vegeta because he's got like the hair that's spiked up at the top, but it's like very separated and anime looking. So, but it's but he's obviously like a kid, and like you throw fireballs and stuff. So
Hadouken.
there's speculation that this is a young Alucard, who Alucard is the son of Dracula.
Right.
So if you don't know, Alucard is literally just spelled Dracula spelled backwards. So
all right, I'm done.
so
But I'm
Alucard,
also
yeah.
gonna have to plug my computer in it for whatever reason. The plug it's in isn't working.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. So while Wally's doing that, I am going to start talking about things,
Stuff and things.
stuff, and things. So we'll give Wally a
But you
moment.
can continue going. I mean, okay, I figured it out. All right, the
You
power
got it?
brick wasn't plugged in.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I hate it when that happens. It's just like the tiniest little wiggle will just like get that.
here we go.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not used to having a laptop that has a power brick.
yeah.
Because it's more powerful than any of the other laptops I've ever had. But
yeah,
so
that's true.
Alucard, the Dracula spelled backwards.
Yes. So anyway, there's speculation that in this Kid Dracula game that it might be Alucard because character is similar in like the hair color. Alucard has like white hair type thing,
Right.
like or light colored hair. Anyway, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a really blonde or it's actually supposed to be white. I think it's white. But anyway, there's speculation that this might be a story of Alucard, and it's not actually like Dracula himself. This is Alucard.
Right.
Because they have similar abilities and whatnot. And he's got in this game, like there's a transformation thing that goes on, and Alucard in the later game, in the third game, was a playable character. Then he's able to transform into a bat, and there's speculation that it might be this character instead. But Wallace, I hear you ask.
I do.
With all these things that are out and stuff with the old Castlevania games, what would I change to bring it back?
What exactly would bring this dead game back to life?
Yeah, so there hasn't been a Castlevania game in several years. Now, I will say that some of the earlier developers or the franchise as it's known today was there are the bloodstained games that are out, and they were made by a lot of the people that made the some of the earlier Castlevania games as well. So these bloodstained games are widely accepted as a Castlevania game. I understand that, and I don't disagree that it is a Castlevania game because they play exactly like Castlevania. The music is similar, the power sets are similar, the
Right.
moves and everything. It's all Castlevania. It's just not under the Castlevania name. I want Konami to bring the franchise back themselves as a Castlevania game. I think it should happen. Uh, And if they don't, they're just being cowards and don't think that their game will stand up to these Bloodstained games because Bloodstained came out in 2018. They had a second one, a second part, and that they released the I think it's Curse of the Moon is the actual third one, which was in 2019. But Konami has not released a Castlevania game in several years. I think the last one was on the PlayStation. I know they did one for PlayStation 3, and then I think they released it on PS4 as well. I could be wrong. I own.
I can Google it.
Yeah, I meant to write it down, and I completely forgot to write down when the
That's
last
all right.
Castlevania game came out. Um, I want to say the last ones were Lords of Shadow series. There was two of them. So I think Lords of Shadow 2 was the last one that Konami put out there.
Lords of
And
Shadow.
yeah, it's called Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
I accidentally Googled Lord. Okay. The Lord.
The Lord.
Let's see.
When was the last time you saw the Lord?
The last release of the Lord was Okay, so the last one looks like it may have been Requiem.
Requiem. Oh, yeah. That was for the
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that was
Actually, the most recent release was 2021, so 2 years ago. Castlevania Advance Collection. Now
right.
that's a
Yeah, that's just
collection.
a collection of the
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance games.
The most recent new one. Let's see. The Adventure Rebirth is really the last one in 2009.
Was
Lords
it
of
has been
Shadow
mm.
is the follow-up series. This is a different series altogether, but it's
It's still a Castlevania game, yeah.
still Castlevania. So that actually had a game release in 2014.
Right. So yeah, so it would have been for PS4 at
Wow,
the
that
time.
has been quite a while.
Yeah, that's my thing is like as the in the Castlevania name, there has not been a Castlevania game in quite some time. Now, there is a new Castlevania game that came out, um, but it's on mobile only.
All right. Have
And
a good night, everybody.
and it's an Apple exclusive.
What the? So here's the thing with Konami.
Yeah.
They're only doing mobile games, collections, and pachinko machines.
You know,
And I don't understand
I don't get it.
any of this.
I don't get it.
They have to be making a ton of money on
So
these
I
pachinko
was looking
machines.
at I was gonna buy the game. Well, really, you get it with Apple Arcade. So
Oh.
you have to have a subscription to Apple Arcade, which is $5 a month,
Ugh.
and they give you these games to play. You know, you're like, oh yeah, you can play this game. It's included in Apple Arcade.
And so whenever
I
you hand your
already
phone
pay
to a kid,
subscriptions for other games. I don't want
right?
another subscription.
It's like I've got Game Pass. I'm not gonna
I
pay
don't need
five
another one.
more
Yeah.
dollars
Yeah,
to
it's
play
I
on
know
your
it's five
iOS.
bucks, but I don't need to spend $5 more. Come on.
This is
So
another argument pro Android,
I
because you
did
can play real Xbox games on your Android.
right, and well,
Versus,
what's funny. So I play cloud gaming on my iPhone. I
Mhm.
do own an iPhone. Um, I do like Android better, but well, I'm not gonna get into the whole Android versus Apple
I
discussion at
am
the moment.
not.
Oh, you know what? You son of no.
Good
But
old brother.
you know what's a weird thing too is with the cloud gaming in on an Apple device, there is no native app for cloud gaming like there is on Android.
You got to go into a
You
browser app,
Yeah,
don't
you
you?
get it's basically you there is an app, but the app does nothing other than make a link
To
to
another
the
app.
browser. Yeah, to
To
the
the
browser.
to the browser. Yeah,
That
okay, yeah.
to the browser. And that's all it does. But you can't just go to a browser and just go to xbox.com/play. Apple wants you to use their little link and you're just like, what is it? What? Stop it.
Right,
But it
because
works.
the terms of service says that you can't have anything that you can buy things with in the App
Right.
Store unless
Right.
you only can buy it with Apple money.
Right.
And so as a result, a lot of these companies are making it to where it's just a link to their website where you
That's
can buy
basically what it
it.
is.
And that's a that's one of the reasons why you can't buy books on Amazon anymore, because you have to go to Amazon's website to do that. Talking about digital books anyway,
Right, right,
for
right.
your Kindle. And that's because you can't buy anything that you can use on your phone through the App Store.
It's the dumbest thing.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but it works. But also, why? You know?
Why you got to make us do this?
Yeah, why you gotta make it? You gotta make it more difficult. But anyway, so they do have a current game, but it is mobile only, and I wish they would. And it is only on Apple. So if you don't own an Apple device, you're not gonna be able to play this game. Unless you have some kind of other means
Flip a
of
table.
flip the table. But I didn't bother, doing the thing. I do have like a free trial thing that I could have done, but I just didn't even bother. I looked at some gameplay. It looks good. I like the way it looks, and it plays. It looks in the style of Symphony of the Night kind of game and everything, but with slightly updated graphics and whatnot and everything. It looks fine,
So really,
but
it seems like all of this is boiling down to one thing:
hmm,
that your suggestion for resurrecting this series is just keep doing what they were doing,
when
but
they did it
but when with the original team, like
right, and I don't think that they're gonna get the original team at all
right,
because they moved on to the Bloodstain series and stuff,
right.
and they're doing fine without
They don't
Konami.
need it. We
They
don't
don't need
need you,
Konami.
Konami.
we don't need Konami, and I get that. That is fine. I am happy for the team, you know. Um, but as a franchise, I want a new Castlevania game. I think so. One thing that I do want to see is that they did introduce. I think later on is they did where you can like level up the characters and stuff and everything. I do want to see that as
Some
a
sort of
part of the game.
RPG element.
Right, the RPG elements, I'm fine with that. I do like the idea of finding other weapons,
Maybe a
throughout the
skill tree.
game. Yeah, maybe a skill tree would be a good idea. Um, I do want to see, an in-game shop where you can just buy things as well. I like those kind of things. I said it before in the Mega Man thing. I want to be able to buy stuff to make the game experience different, change of outfits, things like that.
And you mean with in-game currency, right?
In-game currency. I don't want to use real
You're
world
not
money
talking
for
about
this.
microtransactions.
No, I am not talking about microtransactions. I'm talking about either make them unlockables or make it to where I can buy it with in-game currency. Because some of the other games are several of the games that were like on the DS, from what I understand, some of the enemies drop coins and whatnot, and you can buy certain things in the game. So some of this stuff is already implemented. I think a lot of this should be kept. One of the things um, that was introduced, I think, in Castlevania 3, if I'm not mistaken, was there was character swapping on the fly. So you can essentially have a team, and for each situation, you can change the character. And that character has certain abilities and whatnot, like Alucard can fly, and you get like a wizard that can do, other things and whatnot. That's I think that should be a thing on the current game because for the last couple of games they didn't really do that like the ones for the PlayStation. On the PlayStation they kind of deviated from it some. They turned it into cuz you know how Castlevania on the Nintendo 64 was such a huge success?
Excuse me. Yes.
Yes. Well, they tried to do it again in on the PlayStation. I want to say it was the PS4. So on the last one, then the Lords of Shadow, they made it a 3D game. Now there was the first one. I don't know if it's the first one or second one. I get confused between the two because I haven't actually played them. I own one of them, but I can't tell you which one it is because I didn't like it.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. I played it one time and I
I
was like,
never, I never thought to
it's
learn its name.
it's fine, but I just lost interest. Uh, but one of them is like 2.5D kind of game, so it was like
Mhm.
a 2D side-scrolling and traditional game. Uh, but like there were like some little angles and stuff and everything, so it was kind of you know better looking in some
Right.
aspect. And then they went full 3D with the other one, and it was more of a God of War game. with
I mean,
a
that could
Castlevania
work.
skin. Yeah, I didn't dislike the game itself. It just didn't hold my interest. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I
No, I
understood what they went
understand.
for and I liked the God of War thing, but it was very much God of War with Castlevania whip doing all the spins and doing these things and it
Yeah,
did not feel like a Castlevania game. And I think that's what kind of took me out of the element was it
yeah,
did not feel like Castlevania because it was very action,
very
and
action
they had
oriented.
the
Yeah,
yeah, it was not like it wasn't the same. Um, so in the Bloodstain games, they do have where you can, I've not actually played those. I need to actually buy them, but I know of them and I've seen like gameplay footage of them and everything, and I have friends that play it. I just personally have not purchased them yet. I will because I like them. I
yeah.
like Castlevania. But in the Bloodstained games, they do have like the option to like change characters on the fly and everything. I want that to be a return in the Castlevania game. The next one needs to have that in there because it was in the third one. There was teams of people. Along with that, though, I and for anybody listening, I'm gonna tell you right now because I have not played these, I don't know if any of this stuff is also on the list. So don't at me, or maybe do. Get some buzz going. Go ahead. At me. I can take it.
Comment
Anyway,
in the doobly doo.
yeah. Put it in the thing. Comments. Do the thing.
While you're
But my
there,
thing,
like,
my thing is,
subscribe.
is all along, yeah. So my thing is that having the changeable characters, I want, I want there to be some kind of punishment though. I don't know if this is a thing. Let me explain. So, changeable characters. When one of them gets knocked out, I don't know. So either the body can stay in the same spot, or they can just disappear. Like they can just like not be available to select, but still keep playing as the other character. However, because each character in my mind will have their own advantage, disadvantage. One of them can reach higher ledges, the other one can't because of the jump, or maybe they have the whip and the other person does not have a whip, they have a sword. Whatever the thing is, you're the other person is now bound to only take the path that they can traverse. Perhaps they can add like a revive station, or maybe you have a potion to revive them, or when you get to a spot, then you can revive the character and then get the thing. Now, I want also, in conjunction with this, so in these games, you can pick up items and stuff and everything in like some of the last current like the DS games. I know for a fact, like I tried one or two of them and stuff and everything. I had friends with it. You can pick up weapons and different armors and clothings and whatnot and everything that are supposed to help you. But I want it to be to where that person, the character you currently select, is the one holding the item, and if they die, you don't have access to that item until you revive them. So if you need something, now you got to go revive this guy. Now I know it sounds like maybe it's a pain, but I think it would be interesting because it gives a little bit more reality. Like if you play D&D, just because somebody in my party has a rope doesn't mean I have rope. It means they have rope, and if they're knocked out, I don't have
That's
their rope.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Is like maybe I'll rummage through their stuff, but that's also a task. You know what I mean?
right.
Uh, so I think it would be an interesting way to make it more of a challenge in this way is if you have multiple characters, or you're playing as multiple characters, that character is holding this thing, this other character is holding the other thing, whoever you picked it up with is now holding that item. Now maybe they can add a mechanic to where like you can hand the item to the other character, but you have to be awake, not knocked
Right.
out. You know what I mean? Um, and
A lot of this
additionally,
sounds a little bit like how Genshin Impact works.
does it really?
Yeah, because you can swap through your characters, and everyone has something different that works in
Oh yeah,
specific
yeah, yeah.
scenarios.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
So, so you can, but you can change on the fly, right? It's
Right,
like boom, boom, and if now I don't know how death works in that game,
right.
but
And that's what I was gonna come up with another thing. So I would say introduce a hard mode where there's permadeath for the
ooh,
characters. So if they die,
something for the speedrunners.
they're not. You can't revive them, and now you don't have that item.
Damn.
Yeah,
But
and
but what if you? Well, maybe. Well, yeah, because if each character has their own proficiencies with different items,
mhm.
then even though you could take it off of their cold
You
dead
might not be able to
hands,
use it because, like, if you're using a whip, maybe you're not strong enough to carry a two-handed sword or
so there'd
something like
have to
that.
be multiple ways to get out of scenarios because you
Right, that's
can't
what I'm saying. So they can,
just yeah.
right,
So
they
if your tank
have different
dies,
paths.
you have to be more
Yeah,
stealthy or something
yeah. Now you
like
gotta play more stealthy, be a little more careful and stuff and everything. Yeah. So
that.
I
Interesting,
want some.
interesting.
I want and I don't want it to be like a normal thing. I say just put that on hard mode because
Well,
because
no,
it
that
would
just
just be.
feels like something that people would like. I think
Oh
that if
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
game
because
could scale itself based on how you're doing,
yeah, oh yeah,
that would be an easy way.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So let me see. So I was talking about this here. Trade items, blah blah blah. Um, I do want one other thing that now this is just something else. So I thought of something. Well, actually, I'll start with this one first. I do want the option to play as Dracula because I don't think any of these games let you play as Dracula. You're out to destroy Dracula in every one of these games.
Mhm.
I want to be able to play as Dracula, and the villagers are there instead of the monsters that are trying to stop the Belmonts and the other crew.
Right.
I want there to be villagers with like pitchforks and things, and trying to stop Dracula. And you're playing as Dracula in this game now.
Well, that's
So now
interesting.
you're the bad guy, So I want there to be, and don't necessarily make it like the whole game, but maybe I
But like
want
a
it as a
mode,
mode. Yeah,
or
like a
yeah,
mode. Make it a short game. It's fine, or an unlockable mode,
right. You can play
whatever.
over again,
Yeah, and
and
now you can play as Dracula in this, like in this scenario, and the characters are different
or
because
have
of
it where, like, the first time you play through, you're defeating Dracula, but then Dracula comes back, is resurrected,
yeah,
and that is what you win for winning the game.
right.
You can now
Now you
fight
can
your way
play
through as Dracula to come back into
exactly,
power.
exactly.
Beautiful.
So
We've done it,
now
Konami.
there's
Reserve the
a
game check.
yes. Where's our check? Now there was one more thing that I had thought of, and I would like to see the game overall uh in a what is it called? Oh man, I lost my what I was trying to say. More like a roguelike type game.
I see.
So where there's no lives, it's just you go back to a checkpoint, you respawn, you try again. In that way. Um
You don't want it
maybe that.
randomized, though.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to randomize because I think that would take away from the. Then you really would have trouble with the item thing and the
Yeah, with the
characters.
permadeath and
Yeah,
all
the
that. Yeah.
permadeath and stuff and everything. They wouldn't really have an effect. It would just be an extra character at that point. So, but I do want it to be like them take away the whole thing where it was lives, dead, continue. Just let me start from where I was, keep that kind of thing. I want that. And I do want to be able to pick up things on the fly and be able to use them. If that character is indeed able to wield this weapon, let me wield it right then
Right.
and do the thing, and so forth. And so I was thinking about this, and I wouldn't mind seeing a mode where it was randomized if it was just that. So I thought of this, and when I started, and I know you can see my face because so I was like, hey, this would be really cool as a roguelike game. And then I saw Dead Cells is releasing in the quarter 1 of 2023. It is Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. I will be waiting for this. So it's supposed to be releasing in the first quarter of this year. They don't have a date on it's on Steam. Like I just happened to I was like, "Oh yeah, let me look and see what all Castlevania games are available on here." So and that was like right at the top and I was like, "Do what now?" So I didn't know this was a thing. I hadn't heard. I've played Dead Cells a few times. I enjoy Dead Cells. I am not good at Dead Cells.
Yeah.
But it is entertaining nonetheless. I found it entertaining despite the fact that I am not good at the game. But you know what I mean? It's interesting. So, but they have like a thing where Dead Cells is going to it's Dead Cells but with a Castlevania skin, and the enemies are gonna look in that style and whatnot and everything.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I was like, man, that's cool. So I am gonna get this. I don't know if I'm gonna get it right away. I don't depends on how much the DLC is, but it is because it's DLC. I think it's DLC for the Dead Cells
For
game
Dead
itself.
Cells, for actual
Yeah,
Dead Cells, yeah.
yeah, for actual Dead Cells. But so I may get it. If it's a reasonable price because like I said, I do like Dead Cells. I don't play it as often as as I probably I should. I guess I don't know if I say it like that. Like, I should play this more because honestly, I kind of should because I do enjoy it. Lately, I've been playing a 2D side-scrolling action game that reminds me of Castlevania, only much more violent and
Right.
bloody. So it's it's called Slain. Um,
I
so
don't think I've heard of that.
yeah, it came out a few years back. Oh what year did this it came out no, yeah, there you go. 2016. So Slain came out in 2016. It didn't get a good review. A lot of people didn't like some of the things, so they ended up like revamping the game and they called it Slain Back from Hell. So, and this is the version that I'm playing. So I've only experienced this game as it is now. I did not experience the game as it was in 2016. And I am thoroughly enjoying this game.
Hmm.
It is definitely you're a sword wielding resurrected knight type guy that's out to stop skeletons and other baddies and banshees and whatnot. It's interesting. It's in an older style. It's almost 16 or 32-bit style uh, graphics and whatnot, and it is a lot of fun. There's a parrying mechanic that you probably need to learn because some of the enemies, like in particular, like the mini bosses and some of the other like the actual bosses, will attack you and you need to parry it um in order to
Hmm.
cause some significant damage. Otherwise, it takes you forever to do anything. But
Well,
I am
I'm
having a blast with that one.
Fanatical currently has it for $1.
Fanatical. What? Slain?
Slain Back from Hell, yes.
Oh, see, I got mine in the Epic Game Store for free. When it was one of their free games several like
Ah,
last year sometime. So I
gotcha.
was like, "Oh, let me claim this game. I don't know what it is." And I claimed it at the same time as they had that one and oh, what's the other game that I was playing?
It
Rise
was.
from
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, there was a game called Rise from Hell, and that one actually I was spending a lot of time on that one. I enjoyed that one a lot too. Um, and but I am currently playing this one, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this game. Let me install it and play. And I started playing it the other night, and I'm like, oh, I can't get enough of it. I was playing it this morning. I woke up, I went to bed, and then I woke up, and I was like, yeah, let me do the thing. And we're doing some errands and whatnot today. But as soon as I had some time, I was like, let me play this game some more. Let me play this game some more. I need to just start a new game and stream it
Well,
because it
that
is
sounds like.
it is a fun game. Like I said, it's bloody. So if that's not your thing, you're not gonna like it because there's like blood everywhere, and like there's fountains of blood. Like there's statues that are just like pouring blood inside, but it's pixelated blood. It's not like it's you know what I mean.
Right.
But it is an interesting game. I will say that though. I am
Man, the
thoroughly enjoying that one.
1994 Senate is really upset about this.
I know it is. Uh, I wonder how what they think nowadays. Like they're just like, ah, why even bother?
Yeah,
I
they're,
can't.
they're not
I
they're,
can't.
they're not fussed with it
I
at the
can't
moment.
do anything. Yeah, they're not. They don't care. They don't care. But those are the things that I would say would be needed, or I would like to see in a new Castlevania game from Konami in the Castlevania name. Now, I don't know if you have any opinion on that, sir, but you know,
I
I know
don't,
you
but I
haven't
like
really
all of
played
your
much,
ideas. Yeah, I mean, I have played the first two Castlevania games, and
right?
I don't even recall beating them or anything like that. I just know that I played them because people said they were good, and I just never finished it or anything like that.
You know, honestly, I've only tried Castlevania 2. I've never actually like sat down to try to play it because at the time I was a kid and I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
And as an adult, I haven't gone back and really given it a try. I know that there's like updated translations for like the stuff that was confusing at the time.
Right.
Um, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And I don't honestly think I've ever played Castlevania 3, which I hear is pretty good. I own it. I have the Castlevania collection.
That's, I mean, that's good.
I just haven't gotten around to playing it. I play Castlevania 4, a Super Castlevania 4, because I enjoy that one. And I've actually beaten that one. But also it is probably like one of the easier ones to play. So if you, like I said before, if you want to try a Castlevania game, try Super Castlevania 4. Get the Konami, the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. It's on Steam and all the other platforms, PS4, Xbox, all those. And it's like 15, $20, something like that. It goes on sale all the time. So, put it in your wish list. If you're not in a rush to get it, it'll go on sale for like $3.99 or $4.99.
That's a
And
good
you get,
price.
yeah, it's a pretty good price. So, $4 or $5, it's fine. And I think I bought it from my PS4 originally, and I think I paid $4.99 for it because it was like I had it on my list, and I was gonna buy it at the full price, but it just so happens that I just like forgot and like to buy it, and then like I got a notification, hey, this game in your wish list is on sale, and I'm like,
Like, woohoo,
yeah,
let's do
so I
it.
got that, yeah. I think one game that I am gonna buy at some point soon is the that I have never played. I own it on the Disney Afternoon Collection, but I've never
Oh,
played DuckTales.
oh my
Uh,
God, that's one of the
but
greatest games of all time.
I hear it's like I said, I had a friend that had it. I tried it out. I'm not gonna say I can't say that I've never played it, but I've never sat down and played it. Like he let me like take a turn
Right,
because
I
he
know
was
how that
playing it.
is. Yeah,
He's like, here, you want to try it? Yeah, cool. Yeah. And then I would get like the thing, and I died. And then he'd like take the controller away and
give
just
me that
kept
bag.
playing.
God damn!
Yeah, that was literally that
Why
what
are you
happened.
dying so quickly?
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, but they made the DuckTales remastered,
Yeah.
and it's on Steam. I actually own. It is not there.
A
I think I
giant
have it
safe
in my.
full of money.
No, no, I actually own DuckTales remastered for the PlayStation 3. I have it
Oh,
on the disc. I have the physical copy, But my PS3 is like dying, and I don't use it much these days because
Right.
it tends to crash randomly,
Ugh.
so I don't really use it much. But I don't want to get rid of it because it's still mine.
Yeah.
It's still mine. But I think I might buy it on Steam or whatnot, and just play it there because it goes on sale also once in a while, so I'll probably get it at some point. But yeah, I'd like to see more of those remasters as well for like some of those older games like that.
Well, I would. I mean, I need to get more into classic gaming than I had been. I mean, I've got a couple
You
of
need to
the.
get into gaming and more in gaming in general. I
I
try to get you to
disagree.
play other things.
Yeah,
No,
I don't want to play other things.
I
It's
know
like-
it's a oh no, just Fortnite,
I
just
mean,
Fortnite,
and Rock Band, but
and Rock Band.
you
Okay,
don't
wow,
you don't
two games.
you're not around for that. So,
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't live closer, sir.
but but I would. I guess that's the episode, and
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
the I truly appreciate you listening. You can find us online all over the place at
Mhm.
Dead Game Pod. You can also
Yes.
find us individually at The Real Big Wall, at I Am the Rampage 1 on Twitter. That's the number one and not the word one spelled
Correct.
out. You can also find us on Twitch and YouTube at The Real Big Wall and I Am the Rampage. And you can also find us at, and pretend I give an actual street address because that would be really funny. But I'll just like, share, subscribe, give us reviews on any of the sites if you can't support
Yes,
us.
please.
Patreon.com/The Real Big Wall if you want to listen to us play D&D. You will be able to hear me DM a homebrew game where where Carlos is playing Petrus, the how do I describe your character? He is the champion of the world that really is
World
ineffective.
champion. Yes. Yeah.
Like
I
you have
remember those times.
the lowest rolls of anybody.
I rolled like a 1 or a 2, and
we joke about it now that
all
you
right,
always
all
roll
right,
badly.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Like
And
I've
going
tried. Okay,
back
so
and
I do the
listening
digital.
to it,
I do the digital roll because it's it's convenient. It's easy. It does all the math for me. It's convenient. Fine, but and
but
then
it's always a
I'll
one.
start. I know. I'll start getting bad luck, and then I'll grab my actual physical die and roll it, and still roll like a 1 or a 3 or something stupid.
He's cursed.
But remember, what was it? A game, or was it not the last game, or the game before? Man, I rolled like what 3 20s in a row, and it was just like, yeah, and they were like nat 20, and then plus 3 or 4, and I said, yeah,
destroying it, and
yeah, it's just destroying and clowns and snapping necks.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! You snapped the clown's neck.
I know, and that was like the first attempt. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over there and snap his neck.
You grappled him.
Yeah.
And then you said, can I snap his neck? And I'm like, you can try. I don't think there is anything in the book about that. Tell you what, I've got a DC in my head. Roll to see. It's a 20. It's like, oh God, yeah, you snapped that guy's neck.
Oh,
right there in front of his friends.
I know. I didn't expect that to work. I
didn't either.
Just like, I'm gonna do this because let's have fun with this. That was hilarious.
And that's really what it is. Is that our group is mostly, well, let's see what happens. Let's have fun with whatever we're doing, and and I roll with pretty much everything, and it's more comedy focused than it is focused on any rules or anything like that. We follow the rules. I mean, if people ask me to do things and I'm like, you cannot do that, or I'll say, you have found blah blah blah, and like, why did they find it? And we did. They have a higher passive perception than you guys. I know what I'm doing. That kind of thing.
And this is my first time
Right, your
actually
first
role
time
playing. Like,
playing.
yeah, I've never played D&D before,
Right.
and
Hope,
when
who
you
plays
had
our rogue, also
yeah,
this is her first time
oh
playing as well.
yeah, I see. I didn't realize it. So I
Yeah,
I
she's
thought
never
that
played
everybody
before.
had played, already at some point,
No, she
because
didn't even
everybody's
know
doing so well.
dice.
I didn't
No,
I didn't know. I didn't know what I was like. You were looking for a group, and I was like, you know what? I've never played this before, but I will try it.
right, and I got the group of probably the best people to do, and I've got more people that are trying to get into the game. Believe it or not, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
have to tell them, no, we're full at this
So
time.
we're full right now. Yeah,
I mean, I might become more confident where we can take on more than the
yeah.
6 people that are
More
already
than
playing.
six. Yeah.
Well, I think there's 5, but it's 6 if you count me.
Right, 6 of us
and,
total. Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun. Nobody listens except for our one patron, Mr. Mike Evelyn. Uh, so thank you, Mike. And I'll
Well,
also read
thanks,
your
Mike.
name here. You don't get anything special from Dead Game except for my undying affection. And
I will give smooches, Mike. Mike, come here, buddy. Mwah!
I don't know if I was
There you
prepared for
go.
that.
I don't know if we might have
Or
just lost Mike's patronage.
we did. We have lost Mike's patronage. Oh, yep. I just got a notification. He's gone.
Oh no.
He unsubscribed too. It was crazy. We they're totally separate things.
Oh
Uh,
man.
but yeah, next week. Well, if you have a game that you want us to cover, or if you have
Yep.
suggestions on how to bring back Castlevania, just give us a comment, send us some at replies, and next week we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
We
you
know
can
there's
for all of
nothing
those links.
controversial about that.
Oh yeah, there's nothing going on with D&D right now. Yeah, that's a safe subject to talk about. While I was mentioning the links, you can see all of our links
Oh, link tree.
at the link tree. So it's linktr.ee/deadgamepod. And really, if you just like put Dead Game Pod in the search of whatever, like YouTube or whatever, that you're gonna find it. It's there. Um, I do tend to try to tag things so that way it'll show up in the search and whatnot. But if you just want to have like all of the links on the one page and be like, oh, where's the Spotify, or where's the Apple podcast, because we're on those. We're on multiple platforms at this point. You can just go to the link tree, which is linktr.ee/deadgamepod. If you're watching the video version of this, I tend to put it at the bottom of the screen, so you'll see it there the whole time. Which I found out that Spotify does video podcasting now. So that you might actually see this on video. I'll check it out. I'm gonna look into that and see if that's gonna be the way. Because from what I understand, you upload it, Spotify will distribute it as a video podcast. But you don't have to watch the video. You can actually listen to it as a regular audio podcast, and it will redistribute as audio podcast only everywhere else. So
I didn't know it did that.
yeah, yeah, it's a thing apparently.
Well,
so yeah, so you might see this on video. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to look at it and see how it goes.
well, if you are still here, live long and smoke meats.
All right, everybody. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to our ramblings. Thank you, Mike Evelyn, once again for the lovely support. We very much appreciate it. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.